Okay, now that we are done with the initial setup for the auth controller, let's go ahead and implement the functionality here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start the server with npm run dev, and I should have server listening on port, and I should be connected to the database as well. Okay, now once we are connected to the database, let's go ahead and make some things that we will need in database, for example models. So yeah, let's create a folder called models, right? And then here I will go ahead and do user model. Okay, for that I will have to import mongoose from mongoose, but here I don't have an import, so I think I require like const mongoose equal to require mongoose. Yeah, okay, const schema equal to require schema, and then we need a new user schema which has these things, and we will export the model user from user schema. Okay, now our schema has username, it has an email and password. Let's go ahead and see what we have in the client setup. npm run dev, and then if I just go ahead and look at this, and then let's go to the auth. We have a username and password, right? And sign up, we have a name, username and password, so we don't need email, do we? So let's do this. Now every user has a name, they have a password, and they have a username. For now, these are the only three things that we require for a user. So yeah, okay, now that we have the model for user, we need multiple things here again. So let's create another folder called services, right? Each controller would provide us with some type of functionality, and the controllers, they first thing first, they should not be able to see what's happening when we access the database. So the database logic, whatever we're gonna write, it should not be in the controller. Okay, second thing, it should only contain stuff like let's say validation. So whatever the request body we are gonna get, we can validate that, right? And after that, other things should be handled using services. So let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and write all the logic in the controller first, and then I'll try and divide that into different folders and see how we can actually divide it based on the services and based on the models that we're using for the database. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a sign up for now. So for sign up, we are going to get a request, right? So let's create a variable called so we can destructure the request body just like this, right? Like const name, username, password, request.body. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna again import, I'm gonna use const user. We need a model, user model, right? And then it already uses mongoose, so what I need to do is I just need to import user, and it should all be in a try and catch block, right? response dot send error. We'll see how to handle the errors properly. For now, let's do response dot send error, right? And now I'm gonna go ahead and destructure everything here. Okay, after that I can easily go ahead and do user equal to new user, which will have all these things, username and password. All right, and once I'm done, so I mentioned the ODM that we're using Mongoose, so that takes care of most of the logic for us, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do const new user equal to await user dot save, and this, the save method will go ahead and insert the new user in our database. Now res.send new user, it will send a new user in the response also. Okay, yeah, we can actually do this here. All right, so this is the basic thing that we need. Okay, give me 1 sec. I think, yeah. Okay. Okay, now what? Now once we are signed up, we need to before that we can always go ahead and check if the password is like strong enough, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, also some of the things that we have to check are if they actually exist, right? So if they don't exist, any one of those doesn't exist, we are gonna go and send a status of 400 and then error, all fields are required. Okay, and then here again we can send a status of something. You know what, let's go ahead and take status 400 and we're gonna send the message to be error.message. Okay, so if any one of those doesn't exist, we're gonna go and send a 400. Okay, now if there is already a user exist with the username, right? So we should not be inserting multiple users with same username because that's our primary key. So we should check for existing user, which we can do, just find one and then username, and this will check if there is an existing user that already exists with this username, and if it does, then we can just go ahead and we can return this again, status 400 message, user already exists, right? Okay, now so for the password, we can go ahead and do two things. We can just check the length of the password, or we can go ahead and check a regular expression and compare the password with regular expression so that it contains a special character, a number and character, both lowercase and uppercase. So we can do that. Let's go ahead and do it, right? So for here, we require password to be greater than length of 6. Okay, yeah. Now I'm gonna go ahead and search how to use the regular expression for that password. So use a regular expression in JS for password validation. Okay. Okay, so this is the regex that we need, right? Just gonna go ahead and do this. Also, let's do regex, right? So we have a regular expression, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this regex.test, right? So if it's less than 6, we're gonna return with the status 400 saying password must be at least 6 characters long. Else, if it's greater than 6 and if regex.test password, if it comes out to be false, then we can send another response with status 400, and its password must contain at least one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, and one special character. Okay. So yeah, so here we're checking if everything works. Okay, and that's it. Right now, we don't want to store it password as it is. We want to convert it into some form of hash, right? So there's a pretty popular algorithm, bcrypt. Just go ahead and do this. Use bcrypt in Node.js. I should be able to see a code snippet. Install bcrypt. So let's just install bcrypt first. Here we have this. Okay. npm install bcrypt. Okay, once I have bcrypt, I'll go ahead and const bcrypt equals bcrypt. Okay, and then hash salt rounds, typically value of 10, between 10 and 12. Now let's put that value in the .env file. Yeah. Okay, what did we do? We stored 10 in the .env file for bcrypt salt. Okay, with our configuration established, we can generate a salt asynchronously using bcrypt.gen_salt. This salt will be unique for each password. So we have a bcrypt generate salt, if error, handle error, and return. Okay, and user password is this. What we're gonna do is bcrypt.hash using the password salt error, and in the callback function we're gonna get error or a hash value, and whatever the hash value is we can go ahead and store it, yeah. Now for the compare, we have a stored hash password and we have a user input, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do compare user input, and we'll get the result. So there's nothing much to be done except generate a hash value using bcrypt.hash and then just compare it using bcrypt.compare. Now we don't even have to store the gen salt anywhere. Enhancing security. Once the salt is generated, we combine it with the user's password to compute the hash value. This results in securely hashed password ready for storage, right? So let's go ahead and look at another thing, because here we got the gen salt but they didn't really use it anywhere. So yeah, okay, gen salt, and then whatever the salt value is, we get the salt value. Okay, so the thing is, do we store salt value in what database? For the bcrypt, I haven't really stored the salt value before in the database. Let's see. First we will create a salt using bcrypt.gensalt function. Here gensalt will take one argument as salt number. If it succeeds, we provide the result and the hash along with our password. As a successful result, we'll get the hash in this method using JavaScript asynchronous function promise, and we have this hash will be stored in the database along with other details. Okay, the hash will be stored in the database. One more thing, do you think I will get the result if I rerun the code? Will it generate the same output each time? Obviously not, because the salt value is randomly generated. Unique hash based on special salt every time. That's how it prevents the rainbow table attacks. Yeah, auto generating a salt and hash. Now let's look at the second method by using a bcrypt library. Just use a password and salt rounds, and then whatever the hash value is. Here we will only call the hash function. The hash function will only take the plain password and the salt round. It automatically generate a salt before generating the hash. This will also generate a unique hash each time. Right, and then user hash equal to hash, validate user b.compare password and hash, and okay, here we don't really have to store hash anywhere. So let's go ahead and use this method. So bcrypt.hash password salt rounds, and then this whole thing. Okay, for here I think I should be naming it salt rounds instead of bcrypt salt, and that's a good name for it. So yeah, if I have a password, if it's valid, then I'm gonna go ahead and use bcrypt, right? So I have a salt. Oh, let's see what the AI suggests us, right? So I have salt with, I'm gonna generate a salt, then I'm gonna generate a hashed password, then what? Let's go ahead and do this, and the user password is hashed password. Now it dot save, user created successfully. Yep, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. New user. And yeah, that's how it should work. But what about the login functionality using this GenSalt? Because I was planning to not use the GenSalt and just use this. If I can just go ahead and change it, let's say. So for here, what I'm gonna do is const hashed password equal to await pcrypt dot hash password comma process dot env dot salt rounds, right? So I cannot use await here. I should not use await here. Then what? Can I use dot then and just log the hashed password? I suppose I can do that. So bcrypt.hash, I'm gonna take a password. I'm gonna put the salt rounds, right? Yeah. And then I'll get the hashed password. And if I have the error, my catch will catch the error. Okay? That's good. That's good. It works then. Okay. But the problem here is this thing, the hash password. I have to put it inside. Process.env dot routes, right? Yeah. What does this say? Await. Let's go ahead and see what the explanation is for this. Click on the type of this expression is a TypeScript error that occurs when you use await keyword that does not return a promise. So what does bcrypt.hash function? The await keyword is used to wait for the promise to resolve, but bcrypt.hash does not return a promise. Warning that the await keyword has no effect on this expression. The fix is that you can remove the await keyword if you don't need to wait for the result of bcrypt.hash, or you can use a different method returns such as hash sync, which is a synchronous version of hash. Alternatively, if you do need to use hash, please wait for the result. You can check if it's a promise using the type of operator. Ensure that referee recognizes the await keyword and properly infers the hash password. I don't understand this. I do not understand this. bcrypt.hash is does not return promise. Let's go ahead and check another. Other code snippet. Okay, so I'm gonna plain text. Okay, technique 1, generate a sort and hash on a separate function calls. Yeah, with promises. Says whatever promise implementation is available on global.promise. So bcrypt.hash.then function store hash in your DB. Bcrypt compare load hash from your password database. Also compatible with async await. That's for checking, but not to generate the hash. Async, that's what we're gonna use, but technique 2 auto generate. Okay, and then a function that gives me hash and error. Okay, you know what, let's do this. Let's declare a variable const hashed password let. Right, now I have password, then I get a function hash hash. Fell to hash password. Password hash equal to hashed password equal to hash, and then I don't need to check if there is no hash password, but still we can go ahead and check it just to make sure it is there, and then we'll have a new user. Okay, why not we just go ahead and hit this API with the name, username and password. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. npm run dev. Now our server is starting. We can just go ahead to the Postman, sign up. We have to have a body which is like a raw data, which would be like this. We have a name which, let's say round. We have username, should be, let's say Thor, and password would be something like sapien@123. Okay, and let's send. Failed to hash password. So at least we have got. Okay, hold on. Cannot set headers after they are sent to the client. Okay, let's see what's wrong with this. We can just go ahead and okay, user already exists. Failed to hash password. Yeah. What function is not working? Is it this one? Yeah, I thought thought so. I think we have to use dot then. Um, so you're gonna use just that, the whole thing. So hash passwords, rounds, and then dot then I will have a hash value and I will do this. Okay, if you just go ahead and again the same thing, invalid salt. Okay, number round, salt value. What's wrong? Salt rounds, process.env. I don't see anything wrong here. Process.env, path controller. Is it number 10? Okay, let's go ahead and do this first. Undefined, yeah. We are having some problem with reading the env file here. Is it because of this? No. Everything is right as far as this is concerned. We're not even getting the connection MongoDB connected message, so it's not connecting either. Why is it not connecting to the MongoDB? No. Okay, not even getting an error. .env, we have it configured. We're getting the message yesterday. I don't know what's wrong with it now. .env, Node.js. Config. Yeah. Containing environment variable. Not that. We just need a .env. .env.config, yeah. do npm run dev now. Yep, it's working. And is it connecting to the ConnectDB though? Don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and see my MongoDB here only. Let's go MongoDB. Why am I going to the community forum? I don't need that. Just mongodb.com. Come on. What the hell? ConnectDB. No. I can go ahead and sign in. See how does the sign in. Always. Come on. I think it was this one. I always forget what email to use. Yup. Is this the one? I hope so. If I go ahead and do this now. Okay, you know what? Why is it not connecting to the database? It's not even bring this here, right? Connect to the MongoDB. Okay. Yeah. MongoDB connected. Yep. So why was it not doing it here? Do not understand. But for now, what works works. So if I do it again, why? Because it's running on 3000. Is it? Such an idiot. Should be 8000. Yes. Yes. And if I clear this, send fill to hash password. So salt is not working, is it? Do I have to? I don't think I have to do this, but why not? Takes a little time to connect to the MongoDB, you know. Connect process.dna mongo URI. Why is it not connecting now? Everything is working just fine. Why do you have to be so difficult? Just in a second. 10 p.m. run day. And yeah, it's connected. Okay. If I go ahead and do that again. I don't understand this now. Why? If I set 10 here and then go ahead and again the same thing, come on. Failed to hash password. Maybe. Yeah. So the hashing is not working because we have a password, we have a decrypt Node.js example. bcrypt.hash user password salt, and what are the hash function is there? Yeah. Just like that. MongoDB register sort round hash password bcrypt.hash. That's what I was doing. Let's try that now. Why not? See, so easy. Now let's go ahead and see if it's still in the database. Why do you have to sign in again? Come on. It already did. Okay. And then if I just go ahead and browse collections, I should have a user collection. Test user. Do I have this? Yes, perfect. Perfect. That's a good one, I guess. Yeah. you know what, let's go ahead and try and see how we can use JWT in the next one. That's it for today. Yeah, that's it for today.